Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And in today's video, we're just going to dive straight into it. No fooling around. Let's dive straight into some live commentary, live arena gameplay. Let's try out something a little bit different. I just thought I'd record myself playing some live arena games. And I think this way we'll just get a little bit more of a open in the moment sort of commentary into my drafting gameplay and whatnot. So let's dive right into it. Against Marius, it's a little bit interesting now that Stormcaller is kind of in the game, but I have a fairly sort of standard idea into Marius. I like to pick a lockout champion, ideally a fast one. In my case, Fabian is going to be my best lockout champion. And we're ideally looking to sort of ban the Crixia if it comes down to it. But my insurance for a potential Stormcaller Marius is Galathir. And instead of putting Galathir in 9-piece Mercurial, which is actually pretty poor into into Stormcaller itself, I have like a high resistance Feral build, so that helps him not get stunned, and then opens me up into being able to pop him on the way or out. I don't even know if that made sense, but either ways, 2 damage dealers. I have the lockout and then Neve to tank up the damage, and then Galathir to kind of cleanse. And this is a fairly standard draft that I'll throw into Marius, just in case there is a Stormcaller. That's kind of what Galathir has sort of been relegated for. But looking at this, he should be able to tank up this team nicely as well. New live arena season. Hope you guys are finding success. I'm probably not going to be grinding out this season too much, as I didn't really get any upgrades between last season and this season. So it's not as interesting for me when there isn't really something new for me to kind of play around with. Now, an interesting sort of decision from my opponent is he decided to not ban my Fabian, which means that his Marius is kind of just out of the picture for now. And because I've locked out everybody, I don't really need to place the block debuffs. So I'm just going to go in with a smack, and that's also too, if I use the A3 on the Neve, then I wouldn't have exactly 3 buffs on my Sanguine Maria, which now would matter here, right? So let's get the extra turn here, and then let's get the second extra turn maybe. Oh, that's really unlucky. I didn't get the second extra turn, but I don't think it matters all that much here. So now we're on our 3rd turn here, and we still have the cleanse from Galathir. No Stormcaller, unfortunate for our opponent. But go in here, get a nice little action here, and then we're looking to take out the... We don't get the takeout here, but even if he goes in for the revive, I should be able to have my Maria ready to pop out and go for the kill. The only unfortunate part here is that I do want to kill the Joan. It's fine. I had 3 stacks, which of course I would have liked to use the A3 there. The lockout isn't really important because there is the Raglan, which is honestly a little bit tricky and annoying, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to deal with her. But her revive is at least on cooldown for now, so it shouldn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And then let's just push her turn meter back a little bit and see if we get a cut in. No cut in. Oh, Raglan, how annoying you can be. But let's just get rid of this Mercurial stack, and then we should have 3 debuffs here again. We gotta go in, boom, and boom. And that should be GG. Actually, you might be able to A3 here. Oh, no. But even if he did, he would still be... Or he still just doesn't have Stormcaller. And having Stormcaller on Marius just makes such a big difference in the overall power level of him, especially in live arena. I just feel like he's just not that good without it. Evidently in that case, especially because I do have Neve, who's obviously really good into Marius. So we have the same sort of draft every time we kind of see Marius. Now let's see, Glycea. It's so interesting because a lot of times it feels like these guys are angling in a position where they don't want to ban the Fabian. So I also have to kind of keep that in check where I want to be a little bit more flexible if possible. Nice. I mean, I could just go in with the same draft again, or we can mix things up and throw in a Carnage. We'll wait to pick out our last damage dealer here and kind of see what he rounds out the draft with. But overall, just the same thing. I see the Fabian, or sorry, not the Fabian. Ooh, Harvest Jack. Fun one. What does that mean? What does the Harvest Jack mean? An interesting one. Carnage, I could go Carnage. Carnage is great against all these champions, but so is the Maria. And the question is the ban this time. Like, I don't feel like he wouldn't ban Fabian, but if he does leave Fabian up, I'm kind of wanting to ban the Glycea. And then if I ban Glycea and he leaves Fabian up, I feel pretty happy. But I feel like, oh, it's so interesting. It's such an interesting point where, like, yes, you have one counter to Fabian, which is the Glycea, but if you don't bring two and then they ban your counter and then you leave up Fabian, you're kind of in the same spot. So unless there's like really high resistance here, and which there is, fair enough, but I did get the lockout on everybody else and there's no real reset here. What I'm gonna do again is I'm not gonna A3 on my Neve because I do want to maintain my 3 Mercurial stacks. So I can go in with the A3. And let's just get rid of the Marius for now. And then we'll see if we get the extra turn here, which we do. And then we can just go in and pop her. And then that's that's the power of Sanguine Maria. She's just so good at being able to kind of do like a 1-2 where, oh, that was pretty lucky that he was able to actually get the kill on my Fabian, but that should be okay. Going with the cleanse. Then, unfortunately, a 4 debuffs, but let's see. We'll do one here, and then we have the extra turn, which we can then go into the A3, and then we can go in with the A2. So, really nice insurance with the Maria, and that's why. That's also why I pick her so often. Do I win? Hey, nice. I won my faction wars. But that's also why I pick her so often is because she's just so good. And like Marius just doesn't really compare unless he has Stormcaller, right? Like the flexibility of just being able to use Maria like that and just no matter what team I face, it's just always so convenient and so lethal. My first pick is always Fabian. That's kind of just how I draft nowadays. Into Carnage and these guys, the debuffers, of course, I pick Solinar. But from there on out, it's a little bit more interesting. There's no Marius priority, which means that I don't have to go Galathir, and then I'm more happy to go someone like Mavara instead. And then we'll see if they decide to pick a lockout champion later, and then we can think about if we want to use our Donatello or not. Ooh, a little bit dangerous, but this is very clearly banning the Solinar, right? You just can't play Nell into Solinar, you just have a nightmare. But with this draft, I want to stack up as many champions in Mercurial, right? And so I'm actually going to skip the Neve overall. I'm going to go Queen of Hearts with my what's her name, Maria. And then this is just because that these three guys are a 9-piece Mercurial, which is good against the Nell. Ooh, that's kind of scary because I don't have any block damage. I don't have my Neve, so Predator's actually very scary. I am assuming there's going to be the Solinar ban, so I'm actually going to ban the Predator. Oh, very interesting. I did not expect that. Because, well, you guys are going to see what happens when you pick Nell into what is Solinar, because I'm just going to convert all the poisons. And this is basically just invalidating the Nell, right? I have 4 champions that either have 9-piece Mercurial or just give a very, very hard time to the Nell. What I do want to do is get rid of the Garrel. He's definitely the scariest champion on their side. So if I can get rid of the Garrel, that's going to be real nice. No, we can? Nice. And then, wait, where'd my extra turn go? Didn't I have 6? What? Oh, was there a my guess is there was a extra turn? Where's my extra turn? There we go. My guess is that he had a wait, where's my extra turn? Oh my god, these extra turns are just getting me all in a dizzy. Oh my gosh, that's... I never get used to how the extra turns work. I'm gonna have to watch that back. We can watch that back together, but that was so confusing. What happened? I'm assuming that the Hilvi had a Soulmar crystal, and so she gained an extra turn after I killed the Garrel. Of course, my Maria gets an extra turn because I had divisible by 3 buffs. And then my Queen of Hearts got an extra turn after the A1 because of what? Because of a lightning cage buff or something? That was so weird. I don't know what happened there. That was real confusing. And then of course I got the extra turn from my A1. Wow. The one thing in this game that I just can't understand still is how extra turns work as they're kind of stacked up on top of each other. It's so unclear. Oh, thank you. This is finally a game where I can show you guys how I draft against Fabian first picks. And I just instantly slammed the Movara plus the Donatello. Doesn't Movara kind of look like Batman? Anyways. And the reason I do this is sort of a counter Fabian strategy, because not only do I have the Donatello, I can also flex into the Alo as my sort of answer into these. Against these 2 champions, I don't mind having Neve, and I don't mind having... And then I'm just going to go Maria. This kind of matchup where... Or this is a kind of an angle where I don't usually pick Solinar, because I have Movara, and if Movara turn meters Solinar past... to be faster than Predator, that's kind of a no. What I am going to do is I am going to go the whatchamacallit here, and then I'm going to ban the Reviver, and what I'm going to do is just leave the Fabian up, because I have both the Alo, who can just go first and one-shot him, and I also have the reset from the Donatello. So he decides to ban my Vara, which is okay. And then now we have Neve into, 3 potent damage dealers, and we can just cut through and get rid of the Fabian. And then this is how I draft into Fabian first pick. I think that's generally speaking the sort of angle that I approach drafting in Live Arena with, is what do I think? Do I need an A3 here? I'm just gonna do it. And then I need one more buff here. Actually, I don't want to take the extra turn here on my... I'm not going to go in with the A1. I'm just going to go in with an A3 here. And then that's going to just give me the block damage back up. Ooh, I didn't expect that. Oh, I'm so fast. Maybe I can steal the stone skin? Oh, I don't get the stone skin. But now I've triggered like the block damage again, and so now even if Predator wants to go, there's really nothing he can do there. This is unfortunate. Like, this Predator is so slow. Holy moly, holy googly moogly. It's a little bit dangerous now because I don't have block damage on my Neve, but my Donatello passive can save. Ooh, I got the... Did I even get the Donatello passive? I got something. Oh, there's the Donatello passive. Okay, but I got block damage up again. I don't know how you got an extra turn. Maybe that was a 9-piece Merciless. But yeah, that worked out for me. I got the Aspect of Seroth, and then I got the Donatello passive on top of that. What I'm gonna do is I need 1 buff here, so I'm just gonna go in with the A2, and that's gonna give me my extra buff. I'm gonna go in for the... I'm going to play it safe and go get the stone skin back. And then I have... the A3 here. That gives me the extra turn. I don't think I can deal this much damage. I could just go in with the A2 and then this plays it safe. I'm probably just going to do that and just make sure I get the kill on the Predator. So even though it isn't... That was the third turn. Oh, that's right. So that was the third turn. Never mind. And now there's a Embrius against... you know, I have the stone skin now. I'm going to drop this. I can place the block buffs on top of the Embrius, and then he can't get the block and he can't get the revive. So that's just a nice example of the flexibility that Alo adds into first pick Fabians. And I think that's really like the two main things. Either like someone first picks Fabian and I'm really prepared against that, or they first pick something else and then it's really not that complicated. But in terms of my first pick, I just like to go with Fabian. I probably don't have to because I do have counters against specifically Fabian, but I just don't know what else I would first pick that kind of just like restricts me. I think the most flexible champion after that might be like Maria. Would I first pick Maria every game? I'm not sure. Like, would I be happy if I had Maria in every match? Maybe. It definitely helps me to stop Maria getting counterpicked, but I don't know if I would go to that extent. This is an interesting little draft we got going on. I'm going to go first, so I probably don't need to pick the Galathier here unless I want him. And the question is, who do I want as my second damage dealer? I don't really have a choice here. It's just the Mavara because they already picked the Carnage. And of course, Mavara is good against the Now. And it's just a question of who do I want as my last champion. And I have a few options here. I can go Queen of Hearts, I can go Galathier, or I can go Mavara. And in this case, I think I'm just going to go with the Galathier. Or the Mavara. I'm just going to take the Mavara for the speed lead. Because I suspect he's going to ban Fabian in this draft. It's so hard to play like Carnage. If you get locked out, you kind of just do nothing. I wouldn't mind Queen of Hearts here either, but there's really not any buffs. So even though I do get just the ally attack value. Oh, interesting. Well, I don't really care about that. I can just ban the most annoying champion. I could just ban Marius. And then what? Just gonna ban the Marius. I don't really care about the Arbiter because if they leave the Neve up and he just goes first and just hits into my team, that really doesn't do anything. If he leaves up the Fabian, I probably get a cut in after the Arbiter. The Arbiter is not really doing too much here. So there's really no reason to ban it because I kind of have a good setup here. I go first anyways. I didn't get the lockout on the Nice, so that's something I have to be cognizant of. The one thing that's a little bit of an potential anti-synergy is the fact that this A1 has the chance of landing here, which would be really awkward. Luckily, it doesn't. Okay, I got the extra turn here. Oh, that doesn't actually proc. Oh, that's... Huh. I was hoping that would kill or trigger the passive here. But I'm just going to go in again and hopefully this... Yes. So this activates the Nice passive, right? And then I still have my extra turn. But why did... It's so strange. I don't understand why this happens. Well, either way, I don't have to kill him because he's going to be locked out. But it's so strange because every, like 80% of the, or like 99% of the time, the Nice always gets an extra turn there against me. But in this case, like, I don't know. It's not, I don't know. Anyways. Because I feel like the Nice always gets the extra turn there and then, you know, he places the block damage and yada yada. But oh, wow. Can we kill the Nice here? We can. And then we have 3 stacks again for our A3, so I don't want to buff. But again, so strange. Like, the extra turn mechanic in this game is just... I don't know. It's so weirdly inconsistent. But that's a quick 5 for 5. Knock it out of the park. And then we'll queue a few more for you guys. How long are we doing? 5 fights in 20 minutes. That sounds about right. I think that's the general pace of Live Arena now with Mercurial. Things are generally a little bit slower. And then, of course, I'm just commentating, which makes things slower as well. But generally speaking, I think finishing 10 fights in about 40 minutes is where it's at for me. The people that I'm fighting are not super high ranked, which is making these fights also a lot easier, but I'm not really pushing this season. So we'll probably see just a lower level of opponents until we get in a little bit further. I didn't play too much in the first few days. So what's a little bit awkward here is against the Yumeko, I can't really go Alo because of the Perfect Veil. And I don't mind going to Donatello instead. This is a little bit awkward. I could go like, I need another damage dealer, who I'll probably just pick. This is really interesting. I can still go Ayla with the ban here, because like I could just ban the Yumeko, and there's not really another lockout champion unless he goes like Crixia. I could also pick Crixia, but I need another damage dealer. What if I just go UU? I think that's okay. And then I can think about banning the Yumeko. The only issue is if there's 9-piece Mercurial on these guys, it's likely that he has it. Okay, interesting. I assume there's going to be the Donatello ban, right? And if that's the case, there could be like a Chronophage set on here, which might be a little bit awkward. This is a little bit dangerous. We'll see what happens here. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's see what happens. So ideally there isn't a 9-piece set, Mercurial set on both the Carnage and you. Okay, that's nice. So that lets me to kill. It's safer to kill you. And we'll go for it. Okay, that's nice. Ooh, that got rid of our stone skin. That's not good. And there's a stone skin here. That's also not good. This is a little bit awkward. I don't get the lockout anywhere. No way, and get the froze. I got frozen. Ooh, this is real awkward. Because he's going with the A3. Oh, that's real bad. Oh, that's real bad. I think I lose here. Yeah, I'm so toast. Is this winnable? Actually, this might be. Oh, unfortunate. There's a. Wow, that sucks. There was a. Ooh, there was a. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. There was a unkillable buff on there. Okay. That's unfortunate. What happened this draft? The stone skin was a little bit of an issue. I was hoping that, because usually Crutraxes don't have stone skin, so I was going to go in with the Fabian A2 and then be able to petrify her. So that one caught me off guard a little bit, which was smart on him. It's always just good to sort of mix things up. Yeah, a little bit tricky. I think in that case I should have just killed the best bet would have been just to kill the Carnage, and that way even if I don't lock out the if I don't lock out the Marius, I still have the Neve, but then that doesn't really solve for the Crutrax. I think my draft was just bad. I cooked it up too much in the draft, but I wasn't expecting that much stone, or I wasn't expecting the stone skin on the Crutraxa, but I think that draft was just kind of bad. We'll have to think more about that later. What does this guy pick against my Fabian? But Glacea is just so good. Like Glacea just solo won him that fight, right? It's so sad seeing all these Embriuses getting picked on too nowadays. Like, Embrius used to be so good back in the day before Mercurial, but now I feel like he's just not that good. I'm always so happy to see Embrius. I just don't think he's that good of a champion right now, unfortunately, in the arena. Which is sad because, you know, there was a 5-star soul for him. And I picked it up even though I knew that he wouldn't be good in the arena anymore. But Solnar is really good into the Embrace because the Necrosis stacks get converted as well. I just need to be a little bit careful that I don't get block revived. This guy's taking his sweet time, unfortunately. Let's think. What do we want to do here? Kind of depends on what he picks. I don't really see anything that I need to ban quite yet. Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, if you pick an ally attacker like that, you're almost certain to be banning the Neve, right? And if you're banning Neve, what do I want to do? I can always just ban her as well. I can go you. I can go Queen of Hearts. Oh no, I need another damage dealer. I could go Marius. That's okay. I have two options. I can either go Marius or I can go Queen, or I can go you. I feel like Maria is just better than Marius. Like, this is a spot that I could pick Marius, but it's just like, I don't know how, if it's even good. We'll try. I'll just throw in the Marius. I don't think Marius is really that good compared to like the Maria here. He has Stone Skin at least, which means that he's not susceptible to the ally attack. What's probably going to happen here is he's going to ban the Neve, and he wants the ally attack into the Fabian. But he doesn't have a 6-star Mikage, so I don't expect his Mikage to be faster than my Fabian anyways. So right now we're still flexible on what we can ban. We can ban last pick, whatever it might be. We can ban Mikage if there's nothing else scarier. Oh. Oh. Oh dear. Dearie me. Okay. Well, again, I suspect the ban on the Neve. I should be faster than his Mikage regardless. I'm just gonna ban the Galith there, and that should speed up this match. And then I suspect the ban here, right? And that's really how, like, you can think about Live Arena. It's just a game of pick your 5 champions, figure out what the best ban on each side is going to be. And in this case, he banned Fabian, right? Which means that now he can't, like, his Mikage is kind of useless, right? Because there's the Neve that places the block damage. And so it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't ban the Fabian, your whole team's going to get locked out. But if you ban the Fabian, now your team kind of just doesn't do anything, right? So that's kind of like how, and that's because, like, just that's just like how the draft goes. Yeah, it looks like I'm just picking strong champions, which I am, but they kind of serve their purpose to kind of make a fork for that, right? Now he did pick the Mikage into my Neve, but the only assumption is that he had an actual answer to it. Oh, he had supersonic on his Mikage, so definitely Mikage meant to be fast, right? But just with the Neve on, there's no real way this ally attack does anything meaningful. And then if he does do the ally attack, I get this turn meter boost. And then I get to go in with the Marius and clear up some of these debuff, or clear up some of these stone skin. Yep, let's just buff up. And boom! Let's get rid of all that stone skin, please. Wow. That was a little bit unfortunate. I'm just gonna get rid of you, play it safe. Against like HP nukers, it's not 100% reliable, like ignore defense because they have so little defense. I think for the most part my Solnar hits fairly hard, but like an A1 against the full health Embrius just might not kill him because ignore defense again is kind of useless. But anyways, he might still be learning what champions do. That was a little bit rough. but I kind of locked him in the draft there. Jeff, what's going on, Jeff? How you doing? How do you want to draft against me today? First pick Fabian. It didn't really matter there whether or not I had the Marius or not, but I guess he sped things up a little bit. Oh, Fabian, or sorry, Marius and the Shuzan. So he wants to go first, and I want to slam a Neve in his face. I have a few options against going these first teams. Obviously, like banning the Marius is a good call because he's likely having Stormcaller Marius. And I have the cleanse here, so fairly straightforward for me. I have the cleanse against like the Hilvi. I have Neve, and then I can just ban Marius if I want. Nell, interesting. Might have to ban the Nell. Nell's a little bit annoying because he's likely going to ban my Solinar. And my Galathir no longer has... Because my Galathir no longer has... Oh, also interesting. Or maybe not, because he's just going to speed up into me. A little bit interesting. Because my Galathir no longer has Mercurial, it's actually kind of weakened to now if I don't have enough resistance, which is obviously hard to build. Let's see how much faster he is. He is faster, which means he does get the speed boost, but... Oh, instant turn. That's real strange. Oh. What? I don't know what just happened there. Okay. Yeah, that happened. And then we can just get rid of you if I want. Because there's no... Oh, resisted. Interesting. There's no... There wasn't a Stormcaller. I need to be careful. I do get the extra turn, which is nice, so I can lock out the nice. Otherwise, he would have been able to block revive me. I'm gonna kill the Shuzan because she's just much more annoying of a champion. And then I get to... A little bit annoying. Do I steal? No, I don't. But now, like, he can't block revive me, and then that's fine. I get to revive here. I need to be a little bit careful because if he just flips and wipes me out, that's a little bit spooky. But what I want to do here is I want to get around to the Galathir. Oh, I get the extra turn here. Is that good? That's pretty good, I guess. And then is this enough? That's enough. That's one nice thing about Solinar, right? Against like mythicals as well. Solinar kind of has like a built-in Marius sort of passive effect where he's gonna hit people who transform, and if the nice is not built strong enough, I'm gonna kind of go around and clap him. Unfortunately, these fights are a little bit lower elo than the fights last season when I was pushing, but that's kind of to be expected. So these fights aren't the most exciting. Again, Fabian. The one thing that you have to be careful of when you're doing the ALO strat is if there's like a 6-star temporal chains and that turn meter pushback activates, then things get a little bit sketchy. Oh, interesting. Okay. But I do have the Mavara. What I do like to pick into here is I like this combo into Solinar. I'm going to be picking the Alil. I'm just gonna go pick the who'd the Maria here. This is actually a good draft into Solinar as well. I don't have any lockout. Does that matter? A little bit unfortunate I can't fit a lockout into here, but it is what it is. I don't have any actual debuffs being placed except for my Neve A1, so that's just something I'd be a little bit careful of. But I don't get to fight Solinar too often because I often just pick him myself. So we'll see who he rounds out the comp with. I don't have to ban any of these three champions, which always makes my banning more flexible because I always get to see what of the last two I want to ban. And then we can kind of go from there. Of course, we can always just ban Solinar too if we want to. So this is fairly straightforward. I just have to ban you. Otherwise, my guy can't crit. The alternative is instead of playing Alo, I just play someone like... I can go in with like Carnage. But I don't think that's as good because I don't have a real way of clearing Mercurial stacks before Carnage goes. And then of course Carnage into Solinar is a little bit of a pain if you are careful with spreading the debuffs. So the unfortunate part is I have Alo as my only damage dealer, which is actually kind of spooky because of the revive. It's a little bit awkward position, but we'll see how we can make do with it. Because what happens with the revive that's really annoying is that I could also just not kill. I could go for a different kill. Or maybe I can round out like twice. Oh, but I can't pop all 3 stacks here. That's a little bit annoying. A little bit awkward because he's just going to revive. And then it's going to get the block damage, which is annoying. But is there lightning cage here? There's no lightning cage, so I can still hit through with my Alil after I steal the buff here. Oh, no, I don't. That's not how it works. Oops. Do I kill? No, I don't. That's a little bit awkward, but I think we should be able to get to the kill here because I did get the turn meter boost there anyways. That's fine. And then I just go in here and I kill the... And I get the lightning cage to get the kill. Oh, this is not good, actually. Oh, but I still have the... No, I don't have Dawn's Hell passive. Oh, this is kind of bad. I don't have block damage anymore. Uh, that was a little bit strange. Oh my god, polymorph. Ooh, I was not expecting that. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's actually what they would say really bad. Ooh, that's really bad. Even though my opponent completely misplayed it. Okay, well, I still gotta go around here, but... Ooh, that was really bad. Okay. I need this Alo to not be a sheep. Okay, I do have the... Oh my god, the polymorph. That's so disgusting. Oh, polymorph, how I have not missed you one bit. That doesn't kill either. So annoying. But I still have the chronophage here, so even if he gets the revive, which he will at this point, I should still be okay. This is a little bit unfortunate. That Ay, 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 polymorph. Polymorph, 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 polymorph. Oh, that got a counterattack. Do I get my passive back on the Donatella so I can protect myself here? No. This is real bad. This is real bad. Oh god. Oh god. I just got done in by that polymorph. That was disturbing. Oh, a little bit awkward. What happened there? I think my draft was fine, but obviously getting sandwiched into the Alo as the only damage dealer is a little bit awkward. Into Hilby particularly because a revive places block damage. That was well played by the opponent there. That's a little bit awkward thing about Alil is his damage capability is not the greatest in that spot. So I have to be a little bit more cognizant in those areas as well. Generally when I find myself in that spot, I'd like to have a third damage dealer. Interesting. I'd like to have a third damage dealer. I could bring in Donatello here. It's not bad. I'm gonna bring in Donatello. No, but I might ban the Soul. I might ban the Crixia. I still want to play as if I could have the opportunity to ban the Crixia. This is just my most flexible option. And then last pick, I can pick Donatello if I don't want to ban Crixia. Obviously here I want to pick Neve and ban Crixia now. Having Neve into Predator is kind of a very important. The awkward thing here is I made my Solinar faster. So I really need my Solinar to not go before this Predator. And we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that that's not the case. But we'll see what he bans. I assume he bans the Neve. He doesn't ban the Neve. So what I actually want to do is I don't want to pick the speed lead because that might make my Solinar too fast. I'm actually just going to go in with attack lead. I could have went with lead with the Neve as well, just to ensure that she's front. But in this case, I'm really careful to not be faster than his... Oh gosh, yeah. Like, look, I'm faster, right? But he's going to use some burn meter boosts, and then that's going to make his Predator faster than my Solinar, right? Ideally. Ideally? Uh-oh. Oh, that's unlucky too. I got the buff on my Mavara, or not on my Mavara, but on my... Not really any damage. Oh, why do you get a turn meter boost there? I got a turn meter boost. That's not good. I'm just gonna go in with the A3 here, just so I don't get an extra turn. I don't want to... Wait, he has no accuracy. That's a little bit awkward. Okay. Okay. And then, oh gosh, I'm too fast. That's not good. Oh, but I got the unkillable. Okay, that's clutch. That's the issue, right? Well, if you build too fast and then Predator is last, he gets a chance to kill you when he outruns your stone skin. That's also why I didn't want the extra turn on my Maria, because I didn't want to outrun my block debuffs as well. But it looks like here it didn't really matter, which was fortunate. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of behind the scenes, behind the brain of Live Arena. Hope you guys enjoyed today's little 10 fight run. I think we lost twice, which is 2 more than it should have been. I don't think I drafted very well in those 2 losses, especially this one. This one was a little bit awkward. I need to be a little bit more cognizant of Aelil into Hilvi, because that's a little bit awkward if I get in that situation. I'm the only damage dealer and I don't have like a buff strip. Like if I went into this and this Donatello was a Queen of Hearts, then I could strip the block damage, but then there's like the Solinar. That one's a little bit awkward. What happened here? The whatchamacallit, the Glacier really screwed me over there. But stuff to learn for and stuff to reflect. But there's a quick 10 games for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoy this live commentary action more than sort of the behind, or like the sort of post commentary, let me guys know. If you guys like this live arena content, let me guys know as well, I guess. But hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace out.